Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Tapped Out Wrestling Podcast. I'm, of course, Nick McDaniel, and as always, I'm joined by my Myron.
We have a special episode on tap for you today. We're going to discuss nothing but Ryback conspiracy theories. Ready to go with this one, Nick?
I am, man. But before we get started, dude, I do want to say I got a lot of positive feedback about last week's show because it was a little something different. I was worried that, not being our normal kind of show, one of more of the special shows, I was kind of a little nervous about it, but a lot of people seem to love it. Appreciate all the people that sent in those Forbidden Door cards. That was awesome. It kind of accomplished exactly what I kind of had hoped, right? That was our goal. To get people to kind of just think. And sometimes that's all we're asking. Like, we're not agreeing. Like we don't all have to agree. We don't have to disagree. By the way, I'm gonna shock you off the air. Somebody that I spoke to yesterday, actually, I know them, so I couldn't say I spoke to them on the phone, and they were just like, dude, I listen every week. And I was like, really? Get the fuck out of here. Like, you listen every, and they're like, yeah. And they're like, y'all should argue more. I like it better when y'all argue with each other. And so that made me laugh a little bit. I said, that's pretty funny, actually, because we generally don't. We see a lot of, a lot very similar.
Well, we're both very central people when it comes to most things. So I think we are older wrestling fans. We are just glad to be able to have professional wrestling sometimes.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it wasn't anyway, but it goes back to my thing. Hey, look, we're gonna do more of those special things, so it's not just kind of mailbag. Hey, we can.
Yes.
We'll catch up. By the way, we are going to go into the mailbag this weekend. We are this week. I kind of fell behind a little bit again, so we're trying to keep up, and even like pulled an interesting question out that'll be the surprise at the end, which is kind of cool. But if you did not look, some people didn't. If you didn't try last week's Forbidden Door episode because you thought like, wait, what? Something different? Man, head over to YouTube and check it out. I promise you, it's something good. And I always tell people, man, subscribe. Like, turn your notifications on, all that good stuff. Become a member. Right, Myron? I know you like some of the stuff that we're doing
yes.
now.
I enjoy. Well, one, I'm YouTube's biggest fan. I watch it much more than I do television. I've got people I subscribe to that I hang on every video. I've got YouTube TV for my television and my wrestling.
Yeah,
I can. I like it. Our YouTube experience has been phenomenal. Get on there and subscribe, folks. Nick's got some great content that's been coming out, and he's some special stuff he's been doing. I've enjoyed every one of them. I'm hoping to get to do some myself. So enjoy it and get in there, like, subscribe, join, put on the notification bell, and just enjoy YouTube and enjoy the Tapped Out podcast.
Hey, absolutely, man. I said I like doing them. I just kind of quick thoughts every morning. Check it out. Become a member over there. But, man, look, lots of questions we're going to try to get through. So without further ado, man, let's dive right into and let's just kind of roll through those questions.
Our friend Gerald from Paxton, Illinois, wants to know why Vince has a goddamn dinosaur head on his wall. No, the Sports Illustrated article states Vince's days are numbered as the leader. Do you agree? Well, he's got a dinosaur head, so he's doing pretty good.
Yeah, I was like, you're doing pretty well, right?
Yes.
Listen, and I feel, and who am I, right? Like, because I always tell people, I always feel like do I think, you people come out and people say like Vince is a good guy. Some argue he's not. Some go back and forth. My thing is I'm still waiting for the proof on all of the things on what happened. Because I wasn't in that room, and God forbid, like I'm that guy. Like
yes.
I know that doesn't work that way anymore. I know it's quick and easy to go to social media and just assume everything.
And I'm not defending Vince. Neither one of us are defending Vince. Here's the thing. We're not apologists. The thing about it is I've known Vince and had better experiences with Vince than my own father. Okay? He's been a much larger piece of my life than my own father. He's been much more influential to me. So when I talk about Vince in a kind way, it's because he's been such a large part of my life. Now, he might be the ultimate son of a bitch. But we don't know how these encounters worked out. I'm still waiting to hear. Is he out? Is he in? It's a publicly traded company, folks.
Right.
So the stockholders
in their layers,
are the ones
right?
who are going to speak out.
What you're talking about, like, was it illegal, immoral, unethical? Like, we've got to figure out like what those pieces are.
How many ethicals? How many immorals? How many illegals? Right. All the variables involved in this is yet to be seen.
Now, this is part of the conversation. We're not walking down there yet because we don't have all of the facts, and it's hard to walk down
Exactly.
there. The question, like, hey, do you think his days are numbered as the leader? I think the only way that a lot of that gets influenced is strictly based off, does it hurt the company financially?
Yes.
Everybody wants to argue that, hey, the stock is taking a beating, right? That's it. Hey, I read that somewhere and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to say this, and as due respect as I can. I own WWE stock. Like, I literally put my money where my mouth is. Like, I own stock in the company. I'm not somebody who talks about the stock. They like to read, what the dirt sheets say about it, and then say, like, I watch it because I own stock, literally.
And you did research. We looked over this. We went over some numbers. So what did you learn?
So what I pulled up, I had you help me out here, obviously. We looked back. You said the article broke, I think, initially June 15th, correct?
June 13th. June 15th was the day, or June 12th, he stepped down on June 15th.
Okay, so a lot of that window. And actually, the peak, I picked it because that was the peak. I think that was it. I picked the peak day. It actually, the day the article went up, anyway, June 15th, the article, the stock was at $67.18. We're recording on a Wednesday this week.
Mm-hmm.
So at this very, I was at that very moment, but when we took notes, it was at 63.12.
Yes.
It was down 6%. Okay. Everybody goes, see, stock's down, doom and gloom. Slow down, my friends. If you watch the stock market, which unfortunately I have to do on a regular basis, daily, I also wanted to point out, like, hey, Myron, what right now is everybody complaining is at all-time high prices?
Gas prices. The gas companies are making record profits.
So my argument would be, well, then the gas companies got to be making money hand over fist, and their stock's got to be flying through the roof.
Yes.
Right? Good assumption. Exxon stock, another stock that I have to watch fairly closely. On June 15th, that stock was at $94.89. When we wrote these notes and we were recording on this Wednesday, it was $84.91. It is down 10.5%.
So what you're saying is, in this down economy we're in, a small change in stock price is not that big a deal.
And taking all of that equation, like taking all of that into the equation, I 100% agree. This is going to be a hard pill to swallow because honestly, there are moments where I tell people I fall in some of these like when I make these statements, I fall into those categories. You fall into some of these categories.
Yes.
I mean, we're talking about ourselves. We're not talking about like you. We're saying across the board. It's a very generic statement. Mm-hmm. I 100% agree with something that Bully Ray pointed out, that the majority of wrestling fans don't care about this at all. Unless,
a lot of them don't know about it.
Well, because unless, Myron, it's cool to and it is. It's cool to pull out and fight and argue if you're taking shots at Vince and you're using it for that. Other than that, I don't think people care. Like, and I'm not saying everybody, the majority of the wrestling fans, I don't think they care.
Well, everybody says, "Oh, Vince ruined wrestling." Well, hell, Dave Meltzer's done more damage to wrestling than Vince ever will have.
That's another conversation for another day, right? Well, that would be a good one.
But think about it, and where did the story break?
The Wall Street Journal's where it all broke, right?
Yes.
And what's my take on that, Myron?
Wrestling fans don't read the Wall Street Journal.
That is correct.
All they've gotten is from the dirt sheets. All they've gotten is from websites. All they've gotten is for somebody posting stuff on Facebook and then reposting without even reading it. So, as of right now, I don't think the company's in bad shape. But there's a conspiracy theory that... And folks, I'm the most cynical person on earth. I don't believe in anything. And Nick walked me through this, and I'm like, oh, shit. That sounds really plausible.
Yeah, it is a kind of conspiracy theory, and it's not a conspiracy theory, but it kind of is. So much so that I don't really want to say it on this show. No. All of our members and subscribers, you will get this story. Myron talked to me.
You won't need a tinfoil hat for it.
No,
okay?
It literally
this
makes
is
sense.
Special. This is so good. This is special content saved for our paying guests.
Yeah, it's going to be behind the paywall. You will hear this. I'll probably do it either tomorrow or maybe Friday at the latest. But I will put this out. So if you're not a member, you're not subscribing behind the paywall, get there because I'll do this video and get it out. I promise you. I think it's got some legs to it. But anyway, that's overall, when it comes to his days numbered, I have said since day one, I will always think one of two things are going to happen. Vince will stay and be like the great Oz behind the curtain. He will still be there and with power. It'll just be not out, and it won't be flaunting in everybody's face.
Yeah.
Or two, this is attached to the thing I will discuss behind the paywall, or this company gets sold, period.
Yeah.
So that will be all addressed there. So, but man, let's keep it rolling, man. Let's jump into the next question. Because look, when we talk about some of the good things and some of the stuff that's going right, I think this one falls right in that situation.
Exactly. Trent from Jackson, Louisiana wants to know, do you think Dolph Ziggler turning babyface could lead to him becoming a champion again? Okay, define champion.
Yeah. World champion? Absolutely
Tag
not.
team champion.
He's been there, right?
Champion. Yeah.
I think he will forever be at this point. Do I think he can be champion? Yes. Do I think him being babyface this time? I don't know that it makes him world champion.
We don't even know if he's a babyface. We don't know what's going on yet. He pulled Theory's legs off the ropes, and he super kicked Theory.
Yeah.
Theory did an excellent job on Raw, in my opinion, coming out with that promo he cut at the opening. The opening of Raw was phenomenal this week, folks, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And the end was also phenomenal. The Dolph Ziggler walk down in the middle of the tag team match, caused that big interruption. He gets in a chair, blah, blah, blah. It's all the thing. Then he wound up interfering in the match. Then after the match, he super kicked Theory. Dolph Ziggler is one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time. Dolph Ziggler has maintained $1 million contract during all of the downturn, okay? And not even being on TV. Dolph Ziggler is a company man. Dolph Ziggler is the backbone of the company, and they recognize that. And when they need somebody with a guy that needs a little polish, working a program with Dolph Ziggler prior to the cashing in on his Money to the Bank contract, that's gold. That's gold, Jerry.
It's a very smart move to put Theory with him. Because think about it now. Here's what's essentially going to happen. Those two are going to go out on the road, and they're going to work live events. And they're going to work live events. And they're going to work live events. And Dolph Ziggler is going to teach him just an enormous amount of information.
Yes.
Dolph will make him better. Because isn't that what we joke? Like, you always have to wrestle with somebody better, like, to get better. I mean, like, I don't know that it gets much better than Dolph when it comes to what they're probably wanting.
I think Theory is probably the next John Cena.
Well, that's what they're telling us.
Yeah.
And let me ask you this, Meyer, because I think look, the fans still love the Dolph Ziggler, correct? I mean, you heard the pop. The crowd wasn't like,
and he left the heel.
Yes, he did. But all it took was kicking Theory to immediately turn him back, and they love him.
Yes. Here's
the thing. Those fans love and respect Dolph Ziggler so much that I think they want him as a babyface. And giving them that, I think they're happy with.
Mm-hmm.
But you want to talk about some conspiracy theory? I'll actually share this one. It's not a conspiracy. It's a swerve, bro. So I think a couple things could happen. Either one, I think Theory will try to cash in, and he'll be unsuccessful because Dolph Ziggler will cost him to cash in, and then that sets up a feud with them running for a while. Or I think he comes down, Dolph comes down, you think he's going to stop him from cashing, and Dolph helps him. Think about this. Theory comes down to the ring, he's going to try to cash in, Ziggler slides in, everybody's under the assumption that, Dolph's going to stop him, and then, pow, he super kicks Roman, who's just had a long fight with Brock or something like that, and then bam.
Yeah.
Drops
There's a lot going on, folks.
So
and
then
Dolph
becomes a mentor, Myron.
I'm super excited for Roman and Brock at SummerSlam anyway. So now you've got this hanging over the match to make it crazier. Yeah. It's dynamite.
Yeah, I really think it's a really good thing for Dolph to be paired with this kid, and you never know. Or guess what? You want something really wacky to happen? Theory cashes in, becomes the champion, and then he turns around, and next thing you know, Dolph's there to, there's all kinds of little stuff, and then Dolph kind of works his way in for Theory challenge him.
Book it, Nick.
I don't know. There's all kinds of stuff, but I honestly think that, because what do you do when, we always talk about, what do you do when somebody wins Money in the Bank? There has to be like the storyline. Like, one option is obviously to Liv Morgan, bam, 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 she cashes in, she wins. But what if we went like 2-3 months? Every time Theory tries to cash in, Ziggler's in the way. Like, Ziggler won't let it happen. He's super kicking him. He's stopping him. And it's always a problem. Like, he can't do it. That's a good feud. I think so. And it buys them some time. Maybe that's the bigger thing. So, but
yeah.
Anywho, at least my argument is what, Myron? It's something new and different.
And it's enjoyable. I liked that last episode of Raw. I liked it a lot.
I think it's it. But man, look, we're super excited. Before we get to our next question, I want to let you know, our newest sponsor, SlowpokeToys.com, has got a whole division coming out called Indy Wrestling Collectibles.
I can't wait.
And I have got a big announcement for them. So let's take a minute and talk about that before we move on to the next question. Hey guys, Nick with the Topped Out Wrestling Podcast, and I'm here to tell you about our latest sponsor, and that is Indy Wrestling Collectibles. You haven't heard of those guys? Oh, you know why? That's because they're making their big debut just a few weeks down the road at StarCast. That's right, Slowpoke Toys and Collectibles is launching a whole new line focused on indie wrestling collectibles. And we know our fans, that's what you love. You love indie wrestling. What their hopes are is down the road, they're going to help promote indie wrestling through sponsorships, advertising, vendoring, all that type of stuff. And like I said, you can see them for the first time right there at StarCast. But you know what? Maybe a sneak peek, some stickers, for the kids. Pins, broken chairs, tables, barbed wire bats, even a sticker for your car to show your true love right there for independent wrestling on your car. And that's just the start. Down the road, we're talking more pin designs, sticker designs, magnets, shrinky dink stuff, plush toys, keychains, all of that good stuff. So you definitely want to make sure you give them a follow on their social media at Slowpoke Toys. And of course, make sure you check out the website, slowpoketoys.com, and get ready for that big reveal right at StarCast. That's right, man. Give them a follow over there at slowpoketoys.com. Check them out on social media, Slowpoke Toys, man. Pretty simple. We always talk about branding, right? How smart that is.
Yeah.
And there's why. Because it's Slowpoke Toys. Check them out on Twitter and Instagram. And
super happy about working with these guys.
Yeah, cool
Very
stuff. Very
excited.
They got some big plans to help promote indie wrestling, so definitely check them out. Buy some of their stuff, and we're excited about some of the stuff they got coming down the road. But man, speaking of what's coming up down the road, let's just keep it rolling right into the next question, Myron.
Yes, everybody's saying about this. Wayne from Stuart, Florida. Why do you think so many people think the vignettes that have been airing on WWE Raw are for Bray Wyatt when it's obviously Edge?
Well, I mean, what do you think? It's Edge too, or
I think it's Edge too, because they're showing all the people Edge has had rivalries with in the past. It's not just because it's supernatural looking or dark looking. You think it's Bray Wyatt, and I don't know. The stories I heard about Bray Wyatt, I've heard all kind of different things. I don't think he's coming back this soon. Okay, I think he's going to be gone a little bit longer. I don't think this is about him. I think it's about Edge. Edge got kicked out of that group. Rumors he didn't like the supernatural thing. Well, I don't even know what's going on. But it's not Bray Wyatt. It's Edge.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's Bray. I think a lot of it, people bought into Bray teasing it a little bit. Yes. Teasing around that time, so everybody just like, oh my God, it's him, Now, however, I keep talking about like surprises and things, that I didn't see that coming, right?
Mm-hmm.
It could be, if hypothetically the whole supernatural side of it, this, that, whatever, the darkness. Look, Edge is going to need a partner. What if it was Bray with him? I don't think it's likely, but I mean, it's not outside the realm of possibility, right?
Yeah, but it's Edge.
But he needs somebody to fight Judgment Day. He can't do it by himself.
Rey Mysterio.
Booyaka, booyaka, 6-1. Right. It could be Rey, and it probably will be Rey. I'm trying to feed these guys that are just all hooked in that it's Bray, it's Bray, it's Bray. I'm trying to throw them a bone here and say, like, no, it's not. It's clearly at this point, I think in my opinion, it's obvious that it's Edge, but you never know, right? You never know. So
yes,
it's Edge. Let's keep it rolling and go to the next question.
Yes. Our friend Spencer from Asheville, North Carolina, wants to know, why does this guy think he's a professional wrestler? No. Marko Stunt made some comments about AEW being hooked on WWE star power. What do you think? Well, I think this is the first time we've ever mentioned Marko Stunt on the show.
No.
I think it's
we did before.
Okay.
There was that controversial stuff a couple years ago that it got addressed.
This is the first time anyone's ever said Marko Stunt said anything intelligent on this show. Because this is a good point.
Well, now look, if you were a member, behind the paywall, I did actually address this a little bit, so that kind of makes some sense. But he's right in the sense of, like, look, my only take is everybody says, oh, they're kind of hooked on drugs, hooked on WWE star power like a drug. It's basically essentially what he said. He's basically like they got a taste for it when they signed some of these guys, and they got they on a roll. And I get all of that. I also think that the reason why this is becoming a thing is because this is hard to take. And here's the problem. As I said behind the paywall a few days ago, I literally addressed this a few days ago. This isn't a bad thing, what I'm about to say. I think what happened was Tony Khan hired who he could hire, who was available, all that type of stuff. But once he could sign big names, Myron, we're talking John Moxley, then eventually Bryan Danielson. Now he's got Cesaro and Miro. I think there's a lot of hype, and think about it. I mean, Keith Lee. I mean, on every Ruby Soho. It's like and people think like, oh, you're bashing them for signing them. No, I'm not, because what has been one of our number one complaints about AEW is they don't have enough star power.
No, and now all of a sudden they go out and start picking up star power. People like, wow. Well, folks, Tony's doing what he can to improve his product. Okay, Tony's already said that when he gets his next TV deal, it's going to be giant. It's going to be a history-making TV deal. So if he's snorting the hopium and he's enjoying this, whatever you call it, this buzz he's getting from WB stars, I get it. If I were to start a wrestling company, I'd be like, oh yeah, I got to have the Junkyard Dog, and I would have named guys that I wanted as a kid, and because I'm a wrestling fan, and he's doing what he did. Well, he built a great company with Cody Rhodes and Kenny Omega and the Bucks, and he added all those younger guys, the indie guys, and he built something. And when guys came available, he brought them on, trying to continue to improve his product. That's what he's trying to do.
Right.
Is it dangerous? Could be.
The only thing I say about it is the initial build was being the alternative and anti-WWE. Yes. There was a wrestling company. And I do tell people all the time, I think that I get it. They're still bringing in wrestling people. But you generally, I think, he wants the star power, because to the mass casual fan, he's going to have to do that to grow that base.
Is he Dixie Carter?
No, I think he's got a lot of, and by the way, I think Dixie Carter gets a bad rap too, but that's a whole different argument. Yeah. But I think the good thing with Tony Khan is he has a lot of background, like knowledge, and he knows kind of the product. So I think there's a lot to that is his plus. But I think that we will see more entertainment in AEW than just pure wrestling.
Work rate.
Because here's the thing, if he's got Ring of Honor, make that your work rate promotion.
Exactly.
And then your AEW's kind of in the middle. Like, you're gonna have to have a little bit
for everybody.
Yeah. Because I enjoy it more when it's that way. I mean, that's a whole thing. But anyway, but yeah,
I think Marko Stunt needs some supplements though, Nick.
Yeah,
He's
he
looking a little
does.
pale and pasty. Where would you go to get some? Jesus Christ, you look like a Hollywood movie star with that healthy glow you've got nowadays, Nick.
Well, you lead right it into our next commercial, man. Let's check it out from our friends over at Athletic Greens. Our next partner has a product I use literally every day. I started taking AG1 because I wanted more energy and I wanted to see what was all the hype about. So what is this stuff? With one delicious scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, even aging. I personally use it because when I started this keto fasting diet I'm on, I was worried about the energy I was going to have. Not now. It supports better sleep quality, recovery, mental clarity, even alertness. By the way, it's cheaper than getting all the different supplements that's in this thing. Athletic Greens has over 7,000 five-star reviews and even recommended by professional athletes. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient and daily nutrition. It's one scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements that you're looking to look out for your health. So to make it easy for you, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you got to do is visit their website at athleticgreens.com/emerging. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/emerging to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. That's right, man. Make sure you're checking out if you need that good. It's look, a lot of people are like, hey, vitamins, nutrients, all that kind of stuff. Athletic Greens is a great way. One drink right in the morning, bam, and you're set for the entire day. Can't go wrong. So
awesome product.
Yep, absolutely. Well, let's keep it rolling, brother.
Dwayne from Jordan, Minnesota wants to know, what are your early thoughts on Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor pay-per-view? Well, let's think about this. It's July 23rd, so it's coming up very soon. I
always love things in LOL mass. I don't know why. I always old like smaller wrestling things. I always think LOL mass.
At the Songus Center.
Yeah.
How you say that? Songus. There's some good wrestling booked on this card. Jay Lethal and Samoa Joe. Oh yeah. Daniel Garcia, Wheeler Yuta. Yes. Some of the rumored matches sound really good.
Yeah, I think Briscoes versus FTR. Everybody's all in on that one if it happens for the tag championships. They're also kind of leading towards, it seems like, Brian Cage versus Jonathan Gresham.
Oh,
that's an uphill battle for Jonathan Gresham. Let me ask you a dumb question. Was that the big plans for bringing back Brian Cage? Remember, they kept him because he was really disgruntled. I don't like to be that guy, but this week it seems like I'm the guy this week, right? That's like,
you're the bad guy. You're the heel podcaster,
did
Nick.
Brian Cage get promised the
Ring of Honor
title to come back? You can be the face of Ring of Honor. We clearly have screwed the pooch with you over here in AEW, but we'll make you the Ring of Honor champion if you come back.
Send you over there, build you up, get you super strong, bring you back as a super strong champ. That's very plausible, Nick. Very plausible.
I know everybody because here's my thing. I actually enjoy watching Jonathan Gresham wrestle.
I do too.
He's a great wrestler.
I do too.
And I think he's the great face of Ring of Honor. But does TK see Brian Cage as a better face, and a body for that matter, for Ring of Honor?
Brian Cage is a big guy. He looks like a big Hulk Hogan type. So
maybe. But I am with you on Joe versus Jay. Jay Lethal and Samoa Joe, I think that's... And here's the thing. Like, you know how we talked about Dixie Carter getting a bad rap? Because we're all excited for this match. And I'm like, oh, like it was an Impact? When they wrestled an Impact. Like, it was you know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. I always think Impact gets a Raw deal. TNA, LOL, right? That's the running joke
Yes.
you always hear. But that match alone, I'm like, dude, this screams Impact. To me, anyway, but whatever.
Well, it's cool. It's an Impact flashback. Bring back. Well, no, don't bring back AJ Styles. He's killing it.
Yeah, that's a whole. And Daniel Garcia, Wheeler Yuta is going to be the whole like the indie darling.
Yeah.
You know, kind of leads up to that crazy thing. And like I said, Briscoe's FTR for the tag belts, I think would be off the charts. I'm curious to see what else. Because here's the thing, outside of the titles, like you don't really have any feuds in Ring of Honor because you don't really have Ring of Honor.
No.
You're going to have to build them on AEW and to get there. So I'm kind of
wondering. Yeah, it's going to have to be a super card to draw people's eyes. And it's an actual pay-per-view, right?
Yep.
Okay. Tony Khan, the pay-per-view selling king right now. Can you get a lot of buys on this? I hope so.
I think they'll do okay. I don't think it'll do AEW numbers. I could be totally wrong because, hell, they proved me wrong on Forbidden Door, right? I didn't
stack this card up. Maybe I'll buy it.
Yeah, I think it's a good one. So
I'm probably 30% chance of buying it right now. Where are you at?
27.
Okay. So then a couple more matches, I think it could push me over the edge.
Yeah. I mean, it's not too shabby. It's not too shabby at all. But look, Ring of Honor as a brand, I think, is in a crossroads. I know Tony bought it, and I know that people have lots of hopes down the road and all that kind of stuff for it. But it just boils down to something simple, man. He's got to get them out in front of people.
Yes.
Because here's my thing. I think Ring of Honor will be completely diluted if it's just always on AEW TV.
Yes.
Because then it's just more belts. I mean, am I wrong? I mean, I literally.
And Tony loves belts, for Christ's sake. They got more titles than anybody else. And they don't have but 2 hours of TV one night, 1 hour of TV the other night. They got to get those belts. They're going to bring in Ring of Honor. They're going to have twice as many belts. You got to get them their own program.
Let me ask you this, and shout out to Justin, who's the one who gave me this idea, by the way. I had the idea before, but he brought it up, and I was like, he's 100% right. Listen, I'm not. This is not a knock. This is a plus, by the way, because everybody wants to take everything we say right on the internet and on social media like, oh, it's a negative. No, that's not what I meant. So why? Look, Rampage it does what it does numbers wise.
Yes.
I don't. It doesn't seem like hardly no matter what they throw on there now. It gets what it gets.
It's 10 o'clock on Friday night, for Christ's sake.
And
anybody up that late is out somewhere.
You would think, right? Especially now in the summertime. So my argument is, dude, just turn it into Ring of Honor Rampage. Just give Ring of Honor its own show.
Yes. That would be a very easy decision to make.
I mean, because then you can get all your champions more exposure, not as much as but more than you're getting now. There would be a hope and a thought that maybe more people would tune in because that'd be like, hey, it's fine. Ring of Honor finally has to. Now, if it doesn't, so be it. Test it and try it. You know how you do. Like, look, Tony Khan and AEW love some theme shows. Blood and Guts, Fighter Fest, and Beach Bash. I mean, just a ton.
Invasion.
No,
Invasion
I'm saying if you're that shaky on it, try Ring of Honor for a week. Ring of Honor Rampage, and it's all Ring of Honor stuff, and see how it does.
See if it increases ratings.
Here's my argument, Myron. Agree or disagree? Tell me if I'm wrong. If it does the same, are you not just better off running with the Ring of Honor name and just drawing the same?
I would.
If it doesn't hurt it, stay.
The only people that I would with TNT would be the only people that I would worry about what they thought about it.
But right, I get it. But I mean, if he could sell them on it, or even if it was, I don't know. Here's my argument. If Warner Media loves them as much as they say they do, give me another hour. Give me 2, and then that way every single week there'll be Ring of Honor stuff on there. Whether it's it's still because I mean, listen, I just think you got to get them exposure, and a YouTube show's not going to cut it, and a streaming thing's not going to cut it at this point. Otherwise, you bought Ring of Honor for its tape library and just let the championships go dormant and put them away. Because right now he has 3 champions, right? The four champions on this, tag champions or whatever.
Yeah.
You have 4 champions. You have 5. Is that right? On Dynamite, on AEW, because you have the men's, you have the TNT Championship. Oh shit! Now I forgot you have 2 women's, because you have 2 women's titles. Then you have that new All Atlantic, and you have the tag belts. So you have 6 AEW belts, and you have 4 Ring of Honor belts. You have 10 belts set, because I count champions as 1 belt. You know, it's 1 set of people, whatever, tag team, whatever.
Okay.
You have 10 titles for 3 hours of TV.
You got to get some more hours.
Yeah. Or my take is it's like Oprah. You get a belt. You get a belt. You get a belt.
Well, every match is going to be a title match the way this keeps going. If he keeps, well, there's nothing wrong with that. But then again, eventually you wash that out. It's no longer as interesting if you have title matches every show.
Well, listen, because here's my argument, and listen, it sounds like I'm not, but I'm really beating WWE up on the statement as well. They have too many belts.
Well, apparently they don't have women's tag team belts anymore.
Well,
I hear that's going away.
Well, hopefully it does, and that's a whole other story for now. Until they get that water, under the bridge.
The problem was it couldn't find 2 women who could work together.
Who knows? But listen, we'll talk about working together on this next question, because there's a backstory to one of these as well. So why don't you dive into it? Because this question came out of nowhere, and I'm like, listen, you send a question like this, and we've had this conversation in the past. You send such a serious diehard question about like something like this, it will make the show. I almost tell you, it will make the show.
Yeah.
So dive into my
Anthony from Patterson, California wants to know. National Video Game Day was last week, and I know you guys play games. Yes, I do. What are the ones you spend the most time playing?
So
what do you got
now, Anthony? I'm going with the way it was. What are the ones you spent the most time playing? I'm going with like ever, and I had to go back, like obviously in a time capsule to go back how far.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you the story. This kind of goes with what I was talking about earlier, the teamwork. Super Mario Brothers 3. Hence, I give that one first because that was where the picture was. Everybody would assume that was the question.
Yes.
On the NES, we were middle school, maybe high school, maybe freshman, maybe. I think it was middle school. To be honest with you,
it was
freshman. I think we were freshmen. Maybe hell, it's somewhere in that window. We went over to like my cousin's house, Bone. You know Bone.
Oh yeah.
We went over to his house, and there were like 4 of us, and we literally put that game in because you could just kind of keep playing. You keep get play whatever.
Yeah.
We didn't stop. Like we would take naps and we would take shifts. Like the game played straight because people don't remember this. There was a contest. Brace yourself for what I'm about to say because this was how this actually worked, kids. You had to get to the end credit scene, take a picture, and mail it in.
You'd have to have that picture developed.
Well, yes. You had to go, we were taking Polaroids and shit, and pulling it out and mailing it in because the first person they got one from or something like that, they were giving, here's the problem. I don't even remember what they were giving away, but it was bad, right? It was going to win. That machine was on fire by the time we turned it off. We beat the game.
Oh, yeah.
Can't remember how long it took us. That's a crazy thing. But we played it it was a while. Machine was just burning up. That's hysterical. So now another machine game that I burned my PC, man. I burned this up big time. And you know this because we both were playing this. Fallout 4.
Yeah.
Hours upon hours upon hours. There'll be a theme here in a minute to my as well. And then, of course, Lego Marvel Superheroes. Dude, I put that thing in. I still own the game, by the way, today. I still have a 360 of all things. I have one literally outside of this room and in the other room in the basement. And man, I used to come downstairs and just
fun games.
Yeah. I'd lean back and just go to town, man. And I would play that game for hours upon hours. Yeah, what's yours, Myron?
Well, they're all Bethesda because that's where I really blew all my time. Skyrim, owned it on Xbox 360, and I still own it on PC. Thousands of hours. Fallout 76, everybody paying the game. I played the hell out of it. I joined the club. I still want to go back and finish off some stuff. Loved Fallout 76. Fallout New Vegas. was my other one. Another one I owned on, and Fallout 3 I owned on PC and on Xbox 360 when it came out. I like role-playing games. I like to build characters, and I like to waste a lot of time wandering around exploring things. So the Bethesda games, the three of those three games right there, and then you can, put in Fallout 4 too. Those were my favorite games. Those are the games I spent the most time on. I probably played a lot of games as kids. I probably played a lot of Mario Kart, stuff like that. But these games are the ones that I just obsessed over, burnt out controllers on. Built controllers for
those big world games. You can just get hours upon hours of just going and spending the time. So, Anthony, I appreciate the question because, like I said, these are the kind of questions that are easy. They would make me I enjoy thinking back on them.
Yes.
We would love to hear yours too. Like, what were the three? Now, not your favorite, because that's the hard thing. Like, these three aren't my favorites, which is weird to think that, right? Like, these aren't my favorite three of all time, but they're the ones I spent the most time playing because they just were time consuming and playing them.
Yes.
What are yours? Send those to tappedoutpod@gmail.com. What were the three games you've spent the most time investing in, playing as well? I'm just always curious to hear what the listeners and the viewers and stuff would have to say on something like that. But, and who knows, Myron, maybe down the road we can do a special over there on our YouTube channel, youtube.com /C/Tapped Out Wrestling Podcast.
Watch us play video games.
Maybe that's it. Maybe we talk wrestling, play some games over there, Make sure you're, listen, because I've already talked about the stuff that I'm doing, some extra stuff now. It's all going to be behind the paywall there. Just to become a member, hit join and follow all the directions. It'll walk you right through it. But, at least subscribe, turn on your notifications, all that good stuff. But, listen, you can't do all of those things over on the podcast. But we know we have guys who, I have people message all the time about, hey, I listen to you while working out, this, at work, etc. Shout out Hanson. Listen. Amazon Music, iHeartMedia, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen. If you're a podcast listener, make sure you are, subscribing so that way you don't miss anything. I'm contemplating doing that again, throwing some extras, out there during the week. And of course, if you can, give us that 5-star rating review. We would greatly appreciate it, man. It's always just helps just to hear the feedback as much as possible. So that's,
Amen.
What we appreciate it. So, man, listen. All right, now on the back end of this, I always try not to. This show was a fucking nightmare to make happen. I'm going to save this for all the people that hang through to the end. I mean, a nightmare. I had more audio problems. If you don't think we're committed to giving you a show every week, dude, it almost didn't happen. I was ready. I told one of the test recordings, I'm like, Nick's ready to put a brick through his Mac. I mean, literally, that's how frustrating it can be sometimes. So listen, and I'm not telling you to, but if you want to do your own podcast, go to Libsyn.com, put in the promo code FRIEND and use it.
Yes.
But no, we worked hard. I know it's it's late and I apologize to all of the members and stuff behind the paywall that it is as late as it is, but I promise you that was not the intention. We had every intention of doing this earlier. No. But listen,
I had a major schedule change at work. That's affected everything. I really wish I had a basement bathroom because running upstairs was not very good for me.
We're gonna make sure you're become a paid member because we're gonna try to build Myron a bathroom in his basement.
Yes, we're gonna run a GoFundMe.
So
build me a bathroom in the basement.
So
I've already got the plumbing set up.
TappedOutWrestlingPodcast@gmail.com is our PayPal. You can just send friends and family, send your funds there. We would greatly appreciate it to help fund that. Anyways, been an eventful week to say the least. Look, I don't know if we're going to get a Georgia one in or not. To be honest with you, we may have to, who knows?
I take an elongated seat.
Yeah. So we will see. But, anything else before we get out of here, man?
I'm done.
Slowpoketoys.com. Make sure you check out our friends, man. They got, like I said, stickers, bins, all that good stuff. Make sure you're checking them out. We greatly appreciate it. But what's the old saying, brother? If I've got nothing and you've got nothing, what time is it?
It's time to tap out.